How's it going, guys? I happen to have a game for you today against somebody by the name of Adriene. I don't remember when I added her. It was probably to trade items or to trade a particular Pokemon of mine for something. It specifically wasn't for a battle, and I don't know this person in real life. Don't really know the circumstances, but I know she challenged me randomly, and I was like, well, I actually still have my tournament team more or less in my box. I think I might have made 1 or 2 substitutions since then. But I was like, you know what? I'm getting a little bit fond of this team, so I might as well run with it, and we'll see what we can make happen. So there's one thing to note about her team that just completely blindsided me. Every member on this team is shiny, which I was just like, you've got a good amount of time on your hands to try to fetch these. Even with insta-checking, you still have to find the right person to hatch the egg and all that stuff. It's a process. It's an ordeal. I'm waiting on like 3 people right now for my Absol. And that in itself is going to take a little while for people to get back to me on that. So, yeah, I totally just spoiled. I'm going to use an Absol in the future. But, yeah, jumping back to this, I go into my Azumarill because I know even if she wants to go for a Crunch or anything of the sort, I know Rocks are going to be a thing that are coming in more or less. And then if she wants to go for a Crunch or Stone Edge, I'm pretty sure Azumarill can threaten it out with Dual Stab. I should be just fine. I should be just fine, is what I mean to say. She goes for Stealth Rocks here. I'm not sure why, probably just sacking it. I miss Play Rough, which is not something I really expected to happen right away. I was like, okay, you know, here's my luck for the match. I'll just consume it right now. We'll go for, like, I don't know why I didn't go for an Aqua Tail. I think I was maybe expecting something else to come in that resisted water. So I go for another Play Rough, and I miss it again. I don't know if Play Rough is 90 or 95, but if it's 90, I am getting trolled immensely more than I would be with 95. Because I have a history with 90 accuracy moves. Ask anybody you know that knows me about my high jump kicks. They're awful. Gonna get hit by a Crunch here. Doesn't do too much because Fairy's convenient resistance. And it turns out I miss another one. And it's just now occurring to me that, yeah, this T-Tar doesn't even have Bright Powder or anything on it. It's got lefties. I've just got really bad luck. It was something that I thought of at the beginning of the match. I was like, well, what if I'm missing all these because she's using a Hacks item? And it's just absolutely shitty luck. It brought in the sand, and yeah, it's got lefties as opposed to anything else. So I missed 3 Play Roughs in a row. Thankfully, I didn't end up taking too much damage because of it. It looks like she honestly just wanted to end up sacrificing it. Turns out Play Rough doesn't even take it out anyways. So I think she gets to go into Rotom Watcher here. This is the one switch in I was absolutely fearing, and I wanted to go for a Play Rough on this thing if it wanted to come in. And then it just turns out that it does come in, and I hit it with an Aqua Tail instead. So I probably should have just kept going with the Play Rough. But given the past 3 turns, excuse me if I didn't want to go for that move anymore. I go into this thing because, hey, if it wants to go for an electric move, it actually won't hurt that bad. If it wants to go for a T-Wave, it's not going to do anything. If it wants to go for a Hydro Pump, it won't do anything. And then if it wants to go for a Volt Switch, it probably won't do that much either. So, hey, and even if it goes for a Will-O-Wisp, I won't mind that terribly either. So I'm actually a big, big fan of Heliolisk. It's probably my favorite, one of my favorite fully evolved Pokemon. I don't really like the way Helioptile looks, but I love the design on this thing. I think it's amazing. It's got a bunch of good abilities to it. Very decent speed, very decent special attack. It's probably not going to be up there, but if it lands in UU, let me tell you how fun UU is going to get this generation. Anyways, this is one of the Pokemon I am insanely jealous of on my opponent's team. I refuse to use a Mega Gardevoir until I get one of those because I love the fact that it gets on a funeral dress instead of a wedding dress. It's amazing, but gonna go for a Volt Switch right here and just decide to go into my Aegislash because I realize, hey, can't really touch me even if it has Shadow Ball. It'll probably hurt, but it won't hurt that bad. And then it turns out Psychic still does around 25%. I can definitely threaten it out with the Shadow Ball, though, because I don't think it got any defensive buffs whatsoever. I think it's just special attack and speed. Maybe special defense as well. I'm not 100%. I know it did get a little bit more offensive, but it's still very weak on the physical attacking side. So this thing's going to come in. I decide I'm going to go for Swords Dance because I want to see what the Gardevoir has to do to me. In hindsight, that was very risky because I've seen them run Will-O-Wisp before. I had a build in a previous gen that would run Will-O-Wisp, and then it would come in later and then trick, but it was like Scarf Will-O-Wisp or something like that. It was fucking weird. But I know that they have Will-O-Wisp, so that was actually pretty risky. But thankfully, didn't happen. I imagine Will-O-Wisp on a Mega Gardevoir might be a little bit silly anyways. So I guess it was just something I kind of wanted to bring up. I go for a King Shield right there, I think just to stall out a little bit more Sand turns, as well as, I believe just get more lefties recovery. And then it turns out that this thing is actually a support set, and it's got Tailwind, and then I think later we learned that it's got Super Fang. So it's trying to copy a Crobat set that I've seen before, in a very different way. So I guess the name's kind of fitting, but it's still not something I've seen before. I usually see Specs or Scarf or Life Orb, just nothing like that. Gonna go for a Belly Drum right here. Probably should not have done that with Rotom Wash still around. And let me tell you how much of a fan I am not of this particular Rotom in general. I love Rotom. I think it's a great Pokemon. I love regular Rotom. You can just ask me, tell me to talk about regular Rotom all day, all night. I definitely will. But Rotom Wash is a fucking dick. Okay. First off, I get hit with an Electro Ball, which is like, okay, that's real cool too. And then I've seen T-Wave before, so I probably shouldn't have Sucker Punch. I probably should have just gone for the sub right away because I am a sub 3 attacks. And it just turns out that it's just going to T-Wave. On top of that, it also has Confuse Ray. I'm probably getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I keep going for Sucker Punch thinking that, hey, she's going to attack with this thing eventually, and it just does it. It just stays in there, and it just, like, freaking parafuses. It's so annoying. Ugh. Okay, so I get T-Waved. I get Confuse Raid. I don't really want to stay in because if I hit myself in confusion, I will probably have one of my jaws eat my face off. And that's about how badly I'm going to hurt myself. So, as much as I'd love to go for a Play Rough on this thing, or I think Play Rough is the only thing I could have gone for, so if I decided to stay in and try to break through it, that Umbreon could have been dead. But I'm not going to want to risk that right now. So, I believe I ended up going for a Volt Switch because freaking Heliolisk is a great little momentum gainer. Hits with a nice strong Volt Switch. Doesn't run that much to a Jolteon. This thing used to be Specs, but I switched it up to Life Orb. It's been working out okay. I still like Specs on a little bit better because you don't really stay in that long. But I don't have that many choice specs. I've actually gotten a couple more. I'm in the process of trading for more items still. I've got items, plenty of items, but I want to run multiple choice items on a team. I find myself getting stuck sometimes. So anyway, back to the current situation. I Volt Switch into Mawile on the Umbreon, and definitely not going to want to stay in for this. I decide I'm going to go for a substitute, because if the Rotom wants to try to break it, I can just Sucker Punch and then just get rid of it. It turns out it did successfully Wish Pass. I think I ended up getting paralyzed here. I think I might have gone for a Play Rough as opposed to a Sucker Punch, because it would have shown paralyzed first. But yes, so I did get paralyzed. Kind of a waste because I got a free sub and then it just ended up getting wasted. But I'm going to go back into my Heliolisk here. I think she predicts this and ends up going for the Confuse Ray as opposed to... Or no, she probably just went for the Confuse Ray stock. Whatever. It's freaking whatever. I'm going to leave this thing in to die though, because I'm not going to get anywhere unless I get a safe switch into Rotom Wash. Turns out I get hit by that one, and then Electro Ball, because I believe I'm actually faster than it, is not going to do a lot. It only does like 15. So get to go for a Life Orb T-Bolt, knock myself out in the process, but it does guarantee me that safe switch I want. And damn if that doesn't look like the exact same amount of HP it was at before the Wish and that Lefty's bullshit, you know? You see that? And she even went for the Hydro Pump. So if I didn't kill myself off with Life Orb, I would have recovered. And I am just all kinds of ruffled about that. But I get to go into my Norvern right now because I just want to hit something with a Draco really hard. Or maybe I ended up going for a U-turn. Yeah, okay, so U-turn was probably the better option there, because I would have taken it out from just there. This is a timid Noivern, but it's got a 31 in attack for maximum really shitty U-turn damage. I don't know. The other ones came out without attack, and I was like, we'll run with this one attack because why not? Might as well get more damage off with U-turn. But I'm just going to go ahead and U-turn into my Mawile right now and try to go for that sub-Play Rough shenanigans I was going for around 5-10 turns ago, something like that. Or maybe I just go for the Play Rough straight. Okay, I do go for the Play Rough straight. That is actually pretty fantastic. And I think the Rotom's going to come in and try to get off another successful Wish Pass. I say no. Even with the Confuse Ray, I need this thing dead. So it's a coin flip right now whether or not I'm going to hit myself. And thankfully, I do not hit myself. And I'm able to, I believe, just knock it out with the Play Rough. It was either that or Fire Fang. I think Fire Fang has a better accuracy, but I just had Play Rough. Play Rough, why not? So, Starmie's going to come in. I'm thinking it might actually end up wanting to Trick. I don't know if it gets that via level up or like Heart Scale or anything like that. but I just didn't really trust myself going for Sucker Punch right there for whatever reason. It's kind of weird, but I get to go into Noivern right now, I guess, and I believe just smack this thing with a Specs Draco. Might as well, and it just ends up dying flat out, clean from there. Specs Draco from Noivern is pretty awesome. And then I believe her last one left is something that either resists Dragon or is immune to it. What is it? It is... Oh, yeah, it's Mega Gardevoir. That's kind of a pain in the ass. Or maybe it isn't her last one. I honestly... whatever. So, gets going to my Arcanine right now, and I have no logic for why she wanted to go for the Energy Ball. She hits nothing on my team by going for that. Definitely going for a Psychic. I think the only thing that it wouldn't have done good damage on against was my Mawile if it decided to switch in, but I have no reason to switch it in. Energy Ball doesn't really do anything from there, and it turns out she has Attract. And look at that, that's the happiest dog. That is the happiest dog in the world. That reminds me of that video I made that has like 95,000 videos, 95,000 views right now. We need to cut that out. Seriously. Okay. Just get to knock this thing out with the Flare Blitz. So breaking through a lot of like confusion and things just like it, but no. Arcanine just Flare Blitzes it, and that's it. So I think we have this Noivern left, and I might have mentioned earlier that I had Super Fang. I'm guessing that's its only attacking move outside of Flamethrower? It's kind of strange, because I go for an E-Speed thinking I'm going to die to like a Draco or a Dragon Pulse or something, and just, yeah, Super Fang. That's actually a thing. I'm pretty sure that... I don't think Flamethrower actually would have taken me out from there because Arcanine's pretty bulky. I know Arcanine's bulk. I don't know why I doubted it right there, but there's another Super Fang. Match is basically over because I'm just E-speeding to the point where I just take it out with 3 of them. I've never gone for 3 consecutive E-speeds with Arcanine ever and taken it out, but that's the game. That's one of the other ones I had recorded. I'm still EVing a bunch of stuff. I got like 6 of them EV'd the other day, so I'll try to use those guys in a battle in the future. But for now, that's more or less the team I ran at the tournament, if I'm not mistaken. I'm growing really fond of it, so I hope you guys like it too. And I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, you can leave a like rating, comment, and subscribe, and do your thing. And I believe I will probably be using this team for a little while. Expect to see variants of it with Mega Mawile and Palladian and probably Heliolisk, because I'm a big fan of those 3 right now. Anyways, that should do it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.